Is investing a useless skill? Is the investor stat a waste of effort and energy? Am I wrong about what I've consistently talked about on this channel before about investing? I know there's a lot of overlap between my audience and Hamza, 1stman, and Alex Hormozy, and these guys have mentioned investing before in the past, but they talk about it in a different light. Example, they consider investing in your business as the number one priority. Then they say investing into the stock market / index funds are a waste, or at least there are much better uses for your money out there. My original intention was to have this all in one video, but I kept finding good points to touch on. The script for this video is currently 34 pages, it's almost 20,000 words, at a font size of 11. So that would equate to a 2-hour plus video, probably even longer, when factoring in the parts where I'll be splicing in footage from these guys. So this will be a 4-part series. In this video, I am going to go over my perspective on investing and whether or not the comments made by Hamza and 1stman are correct. So let's start with Hamza.
But if you're making less than 100,000 per year, if you're literally broke, if you don't have a job, if you're young, if you're studying or something, bro, I promise you that the thing to invest in is totally yourself and to start developing skills. And maybe the best thing that you can do to begin with, which is how I started my journey of becoming successful. I invested in myself by giving myself the most important thing, time.
He goes on to talk about buying back time so you can use that time to work on a business. So instead of you working 38 hours a week for 20 bucks an hour, for example, you can use those 38 extra hours a week, plus the time you spent commuting to work and all that, to work on your business, which can obviously earn you a lot more than $20 an hour, providing it grows, of course. This makes total sense. However, he also says this.
Your real dream is to become an entrepreneur and, become a digital nomad and make money online from a laptop and stuff, and you're working some shitty job right now. The biggest goal that you could do, the biggest return on investment you could get is just free up your time and not need to work that job. Work hard, save up some money, quit the job, and now you've got that money saved up, which now you don't need a job for like 6 months. Now you can be full-time self-employed. You can literally wake up 7 days a week and work on your business instead of having to split your attention a few days a week, going to work or going to school or some shit. That is step one. Save up enough money to invest in yourself to get free time so that then you can pursue the thing that you actually want to do without having to split your time to work some shitty job that you don't want. That's the most important thing. You need to invest to get your time back. So many guys do this the opposite way. They'll work some job that they don't even like, that they don't even want to stay with, and they'll work it just so that they can save up some money to invest into stocks and other things.
I'll touch on that stocks comment later, but the issue with saving up money to then just quit employment work in exchange for entrepreneurship work is the success rate. Are you 100% certain that this gamble will pay off? I know for a fact my accounting degree was going to pay off since I could literally see the jobs available on job websites, as well as the government data showing projected growth in the industry. A lot of people start YouTube channels as their idea of growing a business, but how long will it take to pay off? And are you certain it will gain traction? There are a few video game related channels that I've seen before that are fantastic, but they don't have enough subscribers or views to sustain even a moderate lifestyle. One example is Petronius. High quality editing and whatnot, but only 7,000 subs? By all measures, this channel should be much larger, but it's not. I'm not saying 7,000k subs is shit. That would be such a rich remark coming from me who doesn't even have 1,000. But even after all this work this guy's put into his channel, it's still not enough to live off. Let alone the fact that he's in the gaming niche, which has a much lower CRM or whatever the YouTube metric is for making money per views. I know finance pays really high and so does fitness stuff. I think gaming is on the lower end. Furthermore, people don't realize how much growth and effort is required to even make a median level of income off of YouTube. I'm just using YouTube as the example for business since that's mostly what you tend to hear these days. Hell, it's literally what I'm doing. I'll touch on this later since Hamza gives a good example to piggyback off of, but to Hamza's comment I'm reacting to currently, yes, this is a good idea in theory. It makes sense. Stop your $20 per hour job to spend that time working on something that could make you much more. But is this guaranteed? No, it's not. A job or career, on the other hand, is almost a certainty that you'll make money. For example, at the time of recording, I just finished a 9-hour shift at my second job. I know for a fact I'll be getting in some money when it comes to payday on my payslip. They're not going to not pay me for the shift I just did. So rocking up to work was 100% guaranteed money today. But if I called in sick or whatever, or quit to work on, I guess, this brand, for example, how will I know that gamble's going to pay off? Hopefully it will. We'll be optimistic, but it's not guaranteed. Lastly, he talks about not spreading your attention across many areas, aka not diversifying your grind, not leveling several stats at once. Again, he does have a point. Obviously, the more time you spend on one area, the better you get at it. But me personally, I'd rather be a well-rounded individual. And furthermore, Hamza is talking about just growing a business, something that isn't guaranteed. If it was career, then this would certainly grow your income and provides stability as well, something that isn't certain with a business. Of course, you can make way more with a business than you could with a career, but a career is a lot more stable than a business. If you get fired from your job, you still retain the educational qualifications you did at university, you still retain all that work experience, just transfer to another job in your field. If your business goes bankrupt, now what? Good luck getting another loan from the bank to start a new one. Good luck starting from scratch again. You don't start from scratch with your career unless you switch fields. Your career is like a Pokemon game. When you lose a battle against a trainer, which is similar to you getting fired from your job, you will go back to the Pokemon Center with all your Pokedex entries and Pokemon stats intact. A business is like a Pokemon Nuzlocke. When you lose a battle, which is the same as you going bankrupt in a business, you lose all of your progress. You need to start the game again. All your Pokemon you trained are now gone. All that effort has just evaporated. Much the same when your business goes bankrupt, you can't just transfer all of those clients and revenue, subscribers, etc. to the next one. It's a clean slate. Now let's see what else Hamza has to say.
Two is to develop better skills so that you can make more money. You want to know the real secret to success. You want to know the secret that so many guys don't even realize, even though it shouldn't be a secret because it's fucking common sense. But you want to know the real secret to becoming rich and wealthy. Make more money. Now that might seem like common sense. Why is Hamza saying it like this? Do you know that the answer to this question from the mouths of everyone else who's trying to give you bad advice will tell you the secret of becoming rich is to save money?
Exactly. I've seen this a lot too. If you make $100 a week, it doesn't matter if you save 100% of that, you'll never actually become well off. $5,200 a year isn't anywhere near enough to get things like real estate, make solid investments into your business. Using YouTube again as an example, good luck growing a channel exponentially with only a $5,200 budget per year. I doubt you'll be able to pay video editors or thumbnail creators well enough to grow a massive channel with only $5,200 per year. I could elaborate, but I feel you got the point already. If you earn $100,000 a week, somehow, even if you spend 90% of that, you're still way better off than the person earning $100 a week, saving 100% of it.
Now you've got shitty slow internet, but your parents save £8 a month. Saving money does not work. Saving money only will work when you're making so much that the amount that you can save is a good amount, but people are out here literally getting happy that they can save $12 a month. You're not gonna get rich from that.
I have nothing to add. He basically just summarized what I said before.
But yeah, when you tell someone to make more money, and the way to do that is through business, and the way to actually do well in business is to transform your entire life so that you're no longer playing any amount of video games, you're no longer drinking, you're no longer smoking, you're literally just waking up and fucking working on something productive and actually like doing hard work that fries your brain. And I'm not talking, build a logo and spend time listening to music whilst you do some fun tasks. I'm talking about like mentally painful tasks that no one really wants to do, but you do them, even though it hurts and even though you don't feel like it. That's how you make more money. You do hard work that other people don't want to do.
Honestly, listening to investing information, listening to CPA lectures, which is my postgraduate study, and sometimes listening to an hour-long audio voice recording of one of my videos is mentally fatiguing to me. I power through as I've built up the mental fortitude over the years, but I'd be lying if I was saying it was easy. In small doses, this is fine, but when you have so many good sources of info like I do, or if you need to get more study in, since the CPA failure rate per subject is around 30%, maybe even higher depending on the subject, I can't be slacking in terms of studying. And in terms of audio for my videos, the less time I spend editing the video, the longer it takes the videos to get out, which slows the growth of my brand. But sometimes you just got to get the shit done. There's a reason not everyone has a prestigious, well-paying career. understands the stock market, and has their own business. Because if it was easy, then why doesn't everyone do it? Simple. Because it's not easy.
You start to develop better skills so that you can increase how much you can make.
This is literally what a degree/postgraduate education is for. I can earn decent money in my area with my base accounting degree, but to take it to the next level, I need to do more, which is what CPA is. Now, this is related to career/employment, not a business, which is where Hamza is going with this. This also makes sense, but again, stability and likelihood of success. You need to consider these before you go all in on a business. For me, I spent a lot of money on short professional development courses throughout my time as a personal trainer. Here are some courses that I had paid for. Around $5,800 for the actual Cert 4 in fitness, which actually makes you legally qualified to train people. $1,000 for a Training the Female Athlete seminar I went to. $230 for a fascia course. $230 for an injury prevention course. $110 for a Science of Nutrition course. $110 for a Strength Systems course. About $150 for a boxing course, and there was a couple of others as well that weren't as important or applicable to what I actually trained people. Some of these you could probably have learned online, but I did the course for the legitimate resume credit. But I give away all of this info I learned for free on this channel whenever I talk about gym. In fact, my shoulder warm-up and a few other exercises in my routine are a mix of info I learned from a couple of these courses. I'm giving away this info for free, as I hope the viewers will reciprocate my generosity and effort by subscribing, liking, and speaking about my channel via word of mouth to help grow it. YouTubers always say to share videos, but if you're like me, whenever someone shares you a link to a video, you never actually watch it. But to wrap up this section, this is basically upskilling yourself. There's a reason my supermarket job pays less per hour than what surgeons get per hour. You need a lot of training and skills to become a surgeon. You don't really need any qualifications to get into my supermarket job. If you're wondering why I work a supermarket job alongside everything else I'm doing, I've mentioned it in comment replies before on my channel, but essentially it's due to the time value of money. $1 today is worth a lot more than $1 5 years from now. I'd elaborate further and talk about concepts like inflation, M2 money supply, asset appreciation, unemployment rising, etc. But then this video will be even longer, and it's already going to be much longer than I originally planned. So, we'll crack on.
Decreasing your expenses only matters when you've got a high income to begin with. So literally the only thought you should have is to increase your income. And I promise you, listen, you might think, wait, what if I do both? What if I try to increase my income and decrease my expenses, bro? I promise you that that's the wrong thing. And I wish you could believe me. Maybe you can't right now because you've still got like broke people mindset.
I have to disagree. A lot of people could do with spending less, but Hamza refers to expenses as saving yourself time. He's saying don't spend $8 less if that $8 could buy you 2 hours, for example. His thesis is correct, but the initial wording of the message is incorrect.
Then you'll be one of these people who are middle class and they've got, $50,000 a year. That's a pretty good wage.
This puts a smile on my face. I first found Hamza through a video where he talked about how he earned $25,000 in a month, and he said something like, "This isn't that much." And I found this to be a disgustingly arrogant statement, especially since most of his income was from selling courses, which I may go into in another video, but I find this a very scummy tactic of earning income. Even investing courses I find scummy, despite the fact that they potentially can earn you back all the money you paid for in that course. There's free info on the internet for this, but that's not the topic of this video. If he was a high-level surgeon, for example, fair enough, but he isn't. $25K a month would drastically increase the quality of life for almost everyone in my extended family, since a lot of them are in poverty in the Philippines. I found this video because this was when I was looking for other sources of income for fun, but now he's admitting that $50K a year is good. When I first found him, he was saying $25K in a single month wasn't that great. Good to see he's come back down to reality.
Because they keep trying to decrease their expenses, and they've done so in a way that, yeah, they save $25 a month, but now they walk to work and it's half an hour slower.
This is what Hamza means by not cutting expenses. Don't cut expenses if it'll cost you way more time. I mean, I could save $100 a week on petrol if I rode a bike to work, but from my house, that's maybe a 6 to 7 hour ride to the office and 2 hours to my supermarket job. Obviously not a good trade-off. I could do a lot of study in that time to eventually grow my salaried income, or spend that time working on my brand to hopefully grow it to a point where it can generate revenue. So many better things I could be doing with that time.
When I first started making money, and I would spend quite a lot of money on food deliveries, like on Uber Eats and Deliveroo. And my sister would say something like, "Oh my God, you've spent £100 this week on food. Are you stupid? That's so much money." What she didn't realize, no offense to her, is like she's got brokey mindset. Because by me ordering food, it meant that I didn't need to spend 20 minutes, half an hour cooking, 5 minutes cleaning up. The half an hour saved meant that I could record another 2 videos, which ended up making £50, £100, £200, and I spent £20 on that meal.
This makes total sense, but for most people it's not practical. I don't know exactly how much time I spend cooking per week, maybe 2 hours for the red meat and sweet potato prep for a week, and 40 minutes for cooking and cleaning my dinner every night, including waiting for the pan to heat up, cracking the eggs, cleaning the pan, dishes, etc. There's nothing I can do in this time that would make up for the money that I would spend on Uber Eats, not counting the fact that it's probably not as healthy. Plus, if you're a regular viewer of mine, you'll know I live in the middle of nowhere. We can't even get Uber Eats to my location. In fact, we don't even get Ubers in general. I'm not even sure if we get taxis out here, to be honest. But yes, if it costs you $30 on Uber Eats, but that would save you an hour worth of cooking, and in that hour you could make $60, then yes, this is a good investment. But when your brand/business doesn't actually generate revenue yet, or your study doesn't immediately pay a dividend on your investment in time, paying for food deliveries in exchange for extra time working on something else probably isn't the best use of your money.
The young value your time. You'll stop to consider trying to get the free thing. You'll stop being the guy who's trying to wait in line with a coupon, in a big line because you can get a free $1 pizza. Bro, I used to do that in uni. Literally, people would just wait in line because you could get a free £1 pizza. You'd literally be stood there for 20 minutes thinking that you're getting a free pizza. You've just wasted 20 minutes of your life. So all these people who are there right now, who are getting a £1 pizza for free because they waited 20 minutes, but they're on minimum wage and they make £8 an hour, so they make about £2.50 or so per 20 minutes. They actually lost money by getting a free pizza.
Another good point, but unless you were able to actually work during this time and you ditched work for this free pizza, it may have been a worthwhile trade-off of your time. You could obviously have studied in the meantime, but again, dividends on study don't pay off immediately. If, for whatever reason, that 30 minutes you spent waiting in line caused you to miss out on study that would have been enough for you to pass your exam, and you failed your exam, and now you need to spend another $2,000 and 3 months of your life retaking that subject, obviously this was one expensive slice of pizza. But if you were just hanging around campus procrastinating anyway, this may be worthwhile. But I get where Hamza is coming from. But he's also operating under the assumption that your business is profitable and you get immediately paid off per hour on the work you put into your business, which isn't the case for most people.
By developing your skills, buy a bunch of books which teach the skills that you need. For example, if you want to become a YouTuber, you get the book How to Win Friends and Influence People. That's like $10. You start reading that and you become better on camera. If you want to do sales and you want to get into internet marketing, you buy those books, read them, learn from them, study them like a handbook, and implement what you've learned.
Earlier in the video, Hamza mentioned buying books as a way to increase your skills. Makes sense. This is akin to my example earlier of paying for several fitness-related courses that I now use for my brand. It's also how I pay for my postgraduate studies to increase my income. Okay, actually my work pays for my study, but I'd be paying for it myself regardless. The point is, pay to increase your income. Build skills you can then use to grow your own business. Same concept for career and your business. Upskill yourself. Pay money to learn skills that you can use to drastically grow your career and your business. Makes sense.
Along this step of developing your skills so you can increase your income, one of the best things you can do if you've got the money for it is start to get specific advice from the person who's already done the thing that you want. This is called coaching or mentorship. So for example, if you want to become a YouTuber, now you can, study the free YouTube videos and you can buy some books and that's really good. But the fastest way possible to become like a really good YouTuber is to pay a successful YouTuber to hop onto a call with you for a couple of hours and to literally go through everything that he can teach you. And he'll watch you, he'll look through your YouTube channel and stuff. That's the best way.
Be careful here. This is expensive and can often be a waste of time. There's a thing called survivorship bias. It's where those who, quote, made it are the rule and not the exception. I know this comes across as me being pessimistic, much the same way I keep touting that a business is not stable or guaranteed, but it's the reality. I'm not pessimistic, I'm realistic. Just because it worked for this particular person doesn't mean it'll work for you. There's an element of luck to these things. Some people are in the right place at the right time. Plus, we all have different paths. If I paid someone for career advice when I was at university and they told me to work a full time unpaid internship in the Melbourne CBD, that's not realistic for me since I need to work to support myself. Yeah, I could work supermarket on the weekends, like I do now, but during my degree, I'd need much more time for study. Plus, Melbourne is like 2 hours away from my house, which is a factor that someone living in the Melbourne CBD, who is a 20-minute tram ride from the office, doesn't have to worry about. They can be home by 6 p.m. to study for their bachelor's degree. By the time I would get home from this theoretical unpaid internship in the Melbourne CBD, I would need to go straight to bed to be up again for the unpaid internship the next morning. So be careful when considering paying someone at your desired goal for their advice. No two people have the exact same path. What worked for them may not work for you.
It might seem really expensive. Like, wait, I'm gonna pay him like $100 for his time. Like, whoa, like, but I only make $10 an hour. The reason why you do this is because you'll save hours and hours and hours when you have the correct guidance.
Time is money. I wish I found a channel like mine when I was younger. Instead, I had to make many mistakes with career, the gym, investing, etc. before I found the correct way to go about things.
At this stage, you freed up a bunch of your time. That's how you first use any money you want to invest. You actually use that to free up your time so you don't have to work any jobs. Make sure you invest your money by not needing a job first. That's the most important thing. If like it's a job you don't actually want to have.
Another smile on my face. My biggest critique of Hamza ages ago was the fact that he would always shit on 9 to 5 workers, implying that we only work these jobs because we didn't start our own businesses. But some of us actually like our jobs/careers. Even if miraculously this channel got 1 million plus subs, I still wouldn't leave my career. Not only because it's more stable, and not only because then, if I didn't have a full-time job, that goes against the overall diversified progress that this channel is all about, but also because I actually like what I do.
It's not hard to go through this process in 3 months, 6 months, and start making $50 to $100 an hour. Like, I was on benefits, so I was on government welfare, and a few months later, after I followed those 2 steps, I started making about £100 per hour just from improving my skills. It's like, if you follow these 2 steps, bro, it's not hard to get up to $50 an hour. Honestly, like, I know that seems an incredibly like unreal number for some people, but if you've improved your skills, like, you become worth it. And if you freed up your time so that you've got time to improve your skills and also that you value your time, you can literally start charging $50 an hour for things that you can sell.
Correct, but again, stability. When I was a personal trainer, I charged $55 an hour, and this was back in 2019. So the rate is probably higher now, like the base rate for most PTs is probably higher. And all of this was even before I did my injury prevention course, my nutrition course, and my other nutritional knowledge and shit that I've learnt and mentioned in my perfect diet video. But did I work 8 hours a day? No. If you work a normal job, maybe let's say you get between $15 and $25 an hour, maybe less, maybe more, depends on where you're at in life. But those hours are stable. If you do a 5-hour shift at $15 an hour, you will earn $75 for that shift/day. If you charge $60 an hour, but you only get 1 hour worth of work during your day, you made $60 for that day. So the guy that worked at a much lower rate earned more than the guy who earns a much higher rate. Obviously, $60 per hour is a much more efficient use of your time than $15 per hour, but you need to factor in stability. I could quit my supermarket job and start some PT business in my local area and do that on the weekends. As many people around this area are aware of my expertise, I could charge $80 to $100 an hour for all the tidbits that I have. You know, I do this exercise because of this anatomical reason. I avoid this exercise due to your anatomy. I eat these foods because they cover my magnesium and potassium requirements. I take this supplement for this reason, like CBD gummies and vitamin D subs are very underrated. Shit like that, for example. But how sustainable is this? If I work a weekend at the supermarket, I make around $500. It's a little bit more. That's 18 hours worth of work, including 2 unpaid hours of lunch break. I could make this with 5 hours of personal training, but your clients can quit. What if they go through hard financial times and can't afford training anymore? What if they simply don't want to train anymore? I've given up something extremely stable, the supermarket job, in exchange for something that fluctuates drastically. There's pros and cons to both sides, but always keep in mind the stability and longevity of decisions such as this. Yes, you can earn 4 times per hour from your business than a job, but how often can you generate business? A crucial decision only you can make for yourself.
To make your life better. The thing that I did was that I signed up to a fancy gym nearby, like a really, really fancy like health spa.
Hamza, that's not the most ideal way to do lateral raises. Should have spent some money on anatomy courses like I did, or you could just watch some Jeremy Ethier, Jeff Nippard, or Athlean X. These guys don't always provide spot on info, but they're right way more often than they're wrong, but I digress.
More wealthy. You don't realize like there's so many things that you could spend money on and invest your money on that will have a higher ROI than just trying to get fucking index funds 10% per year or something.
Keep this in mind. I'll elaborate on this when I react to other comments from other YouTubers. There is a time and place for this type of investing.
Buying like healthier food. And then I bought some things that would make my life better. Like for example, I bought an Aura ring, which is like $300 and helps you improve your sleep.
These are okay. I honestly don't think they're worth the money since, as far as I'm aware, they just track your sleep accurately and they don't actually help you sleep. The best sleep investment is CBD gummies. My regular viewers will know about this.
ROI of signing up to like a gym that you love going to is way higher than 10% return on investment or 50% or 100%. It's so much more important to spend money on a life that you actually like.
Yep, not everything is about maximizing your wealth. I've spent almost $5,000 on laser hair removal. It's made my life easier instead of having to shave all the time. Plus, it's a good investment into your aesthetics.
Invested as much as you could in yourself, that now the return on investment, like, you know, you're running out of ideas for what to spend money on for yourself. Now it's okay, since there's nothing really high ROI that I could spend on myself, I may as well start spending on other people and get like a return on investment from them. So this is the point that you now start to consider crypto, property, stocks.
So, once you've maxed out your potential returns in one area, then you spread yourself to others. Keep this in mind as well, as I'll elaborate on this later too.
The best way to start in stage 4 is to go directly to Bitcoin. So that's exactly what I did.
Disagree. I don't expect him to know since he obviously isn't into the whole stock market/economy, but why did you go straight to Bitcoin? Just because it's down like 70% from the peak doesn't mean it'll return to that. At the time of recording this video, I'd go into oil, lithium, or carbon credits for the next year, then maybe reassess and go into Bitcoin then, but I won't know until the end of 2023. Yeah, if your investment time horizon is years and years away, then just locking all your money away in Bitcoin will probably pay off. But why not just shuffle that money around on other stock market related investments in the meantime and make even more money? This is why I advocate for learning investing yourself rather than just buying and holding index funds and other random stocks and crypto.
If you don't want to do trading and gambling, but you want to do more like safe long-term investments, that you're going to invest in something and be absolutely stoic to whatever the bullshit you see in the news and all these people saying, oh, it's this dead and this is dead, whatever. You invest into something and you just kind of forget that you've ever invested in there.
A good point, but again, why not learn this stuff and make extra money in the meantime? Yes, you can lose money doing that, but you can also lose money from investing in particular stocks and holding that forever as companies go bankrupt. If you invest in index funds, you will more than likely make a return in 20 plus years, but again, why not magnify that return in the meantime with more swing trading strategies like I'd use? But again, why not magnify that in the meantime with more of the swing trading strategies? Again, yes, you can lose money, but if you learn this well enough, you'll win more often than you lose. I only really learn this stuff on the side while I am doing other things. Example, I'll listen to it on the way to and from work. I'll listen to it at work. I'll listen to it in the shower, while cooking dinner, maybe while going for a walk. Eventually, you start to learn and pick up these things for yourself.
This video is any good or not because this is the point that I've got to where I focus entirely on increasing the income. My income is about more than $500,000 per year now, and it's going to drastically increase above that. Once you get to this point, I know that I just brushed past like a pretty big detail of how much money I make about $500,000 a year right now, and that's like, I mean, that's income, to be honest, and not including expenses. The profit's not that big. Profit's maybe like 100K, 150K, 200K, something like that.
An important detail, at the time of this video, Hamza had about 1.25 million subs, and he, quote, only made, I don't know, let's say $200,000 a year. This will be touched on in part 4, so keep this in mind. So here's a small snippet from a First Man video.
Idiot, because you need to invest heavily. Like Drake said, he went and bought a house when he could have bought a verse. Okay? Now, to a lot of people, that sounds fucking nuts. You've just made X amount of money. Okay, you've got, let's say, 400,000. And people are saying, hey, go and buy a house. Because that's all they've ever wanted. That's the pinnacle of their life. That's the biggest purchase they can ever have.
So instead of having all these snippets from the video, like I've already done with First Man before and what I've just done with Hamza, I'll only have this segment to react to. Basically, the video is talking about investing in your business. Instead of blowing that money on something or buying a house, now you buy a verse. You buy back into your business, reinvest into the business to make more money. Again, as I mentioned with Hamza, this only works if your business is actually making you money. Imagine I took all the money I put aside for real estate and put it into, I don't know, video editors and shit for this channel. Yes, chances are this channel would grow a lot more, but even then it would still require me to record the initial content, such as my voiceovers, my video ideas, the images I use, etc. So the output would still be limited to my spare time that I put into this brand. And as mentioned earlier in the video, I wouldn't quit my jobs to work on this brand, as that's not a stable move at all. So, although investing into your business is a good idea, since it's a great return on investment, only do this if you're actually generating revenue and you're certain it'll pay off, as well as ensuring that it won't compromise other parts of your life, example, a real estate purchase, your career, etc. I live in Australia. We have some of the most unaffordable real estate in terms of income levels here in the world. So if you live in a country where real estate is a little more affordable compared to the average/median income in your area, it may make sense to use this money towards a business instead. But where I am, if you have the chance to get into real estate, you seize that opportunity and you don't let go. So this First Man reaction was small and short, obviously, but it was essentially him advocating for investing in your business, which is not wrong. It's a good point. I can see where him and Hamza are coming from. But for you guys, you need to factor in all the variables I've mentioned here, such as likelihood of success, stability, if the business investments are actually worth the money in comparison to what you're earning, etc. So that was my take on the investment recommendations/advice that these two have given. In the next video, I'm going to react to Alex Hormozi and what he's often said about investing. I will see you then.